Before anything else, I want to sincerely apologize for the lights on this one. I film and edit these entirely on my phone, and I don't know how to fix it. I can't get better lighting unless I draw on the floor either, so I'm really sorry. Hopefully Emma's will be better. As per usual, major spoiler warning for all 6 books in Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Even more so today. We covered big spoilers last time, but this is the main fucking character we're talking about. You cannot tell me you haven't been warned. Back on topic though, today's is the one and only Jacob Portman, one of my favorite unreliable narrators next to Percy Jackson and Connor Lassiter. Jacob, in my not at all humble opinion, gets far too much hate for what he is as a character. Being the main protagonist and for the most part our sole point of view, disregarding that one bit in Hollow City, we get to see significantly more into his character than anyone else in the series. We get to see his snarky inner thoughts, his at times painfully childish reasonings, looking at you, A Map of Days, and his full, complete character. Jacob's sarcastic, he's genuinely funny when he wants to be, and did we as a fandom collectively forget that Jacob has at least implied anxiety and PTSD? In The Desolations of Devil's Acre, he literally talks about how checked out he is and how he expects his nightmares from all the way at the beginning to come back. He's even surprisingly open to the idea of therapy again, despite Golan and his friends looking at him like his suggestion of a brain-mending peculiarity was insane. Also, for better and definitely for worse, he's righteous to a fault. Kid was really told, hey, you going to save this girl may or may not have started a war with America, and said, okay, I'm still gonna go get her though. Oh my god, if Miss Peregrine yelled at me the way she did to Jacob during that whole bit, I think I'd have just sat there and cried. She was scary in that scene, but what does Jacob do? Run away from home for the 3rd time this week, of course, because why wouldn't he? That solves all our problems. My brother has only read most of the first book, and Jacob very quickly became his least favorite character because he just finds him annoying, which, you know what, fair. First book Jacob was not great for a while, especially before he meets the Peculiars. Imagine being such a stereotypical rich kid that your response to partial ownership of an entire chain of convenience stores was, how can I make me not wanting to be here everyone else's problem? As someone who also tends to be very spiteful, even I can say that's a bit much, dude. And I'm not trying to say how he treated Ricky was worse than how Ricky treated him, but do I look like I blow truckers for food stamps? Really? Dude, being decently funny in the first half of the book is not going to get you this big of a hall pass to be an asshole. Make fun of your dad as questionably as you want, but he hasn't done anything on page yet but be obsessed with birds. I fully understand the daddy issues. Frank Portman is by far one of my least favorite characters for personal reasons, but come on, Jacob, at least wait until the man starts getting shit-faced every night before we start talking about his lack of a real job. He was actually trying before then. Luckily, once he meets the kids, he stops being just a massive dick to everyone around him, which is good, both because now he can actually be the hero of the story, and because now that can be Enoch's job. Sorry, Jacob, when Enoch does it, it's a lot funnier. Despite all that, I do genuinely like Jacob as a character. I think he's funny and sometimes embarrassingly relatable, though I do wish they'd done more with the random traits he was given as someone who also grew up in the gifted program in school. As with most of these kids, though, all that flies out the window when you bring up movie Jacob. In the movie, Jacob is a walking camera. Absolutely none of his snark or even his shittiness gets to stay in the movie. He just kind of sits there and watches. I do really like Asa Butterfield in this role too. He's the only one of the actors I actually based my book design around. It's just a damn shame that these characters were written the way they were. I'm probably gonna say this in all my videos except Nora's for obvious reasons, but the actors did fantastic. The writing just really sucked for this movie. I'm really just waiting for this to get the Percy Jackson treatment and have a TV remake that's actually good, but based on the things Ransom Riggs has said about the movie, I don't have much hope. Jacob, in my opinion, is a good protagonist. He's not perfect, but I don't think he was ever supposed to be. He's telling you, the reader, a story, and I think he does a pretty good job narrating. Yeah, he makes dumb decisions, and yeah, he can be an asshole sometimes, but he's 16. I read these books when I was his age, and I completely understood his point of view as a fellow 16-year-old with parental issues and not a whole lot of friends. He's having his whole world flipped upside down, and I'm not saying that excuses the worst of his actions, but I don't think I would react much differently even now. He's doing his best, and goddammit, I think he deserves at least a little more credit for it. After all, without him, we wouldn't have this story to begin with. There are so many good things about him I just didn't have time to go into because a lot of it's overshadowed by the reasons people don't like him. Anyway, that's all for the Portman boy for now. Next up, his first combustible girlfriend, who really should have been allowed to keep that knife.